Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. The Generation X proudly presents you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? I'm your host, Saheem the Dream. Joking around as usual. Thank you guys for joining us for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. I'm your host, Saheem the Dream. If you guys are joining me, drop a comment in the comment section below. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, baby. As we talk some wrestling, we're going to talk some wrestling here and now. Take that down. Let me just get into it. I feel like my hat is crooked. Slanted. All right, there we go. All right. Boom. Yeah. That looks sort of okay. All right. So we thank you guys for joining me for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. Again, if you guys are joining me, drop a comment in the comment section below. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to talk Smackdown. Let's just talk about the obvious. The return of AJ Styles coming back from his sabbatical, recovering from an injury. At the end of the night, the main event match, of course, was against you guys know it was Jimmy Uso versus Randy Orton on SmackDown. They had a match. They were mixing it up in the ring at the end of the match. Solo Sikoa music drops. He's coming out to interrupt the match. And then LA Knight music drops. He comes out to assist Randy Orton. And the bloodline pretty much is getting the better of Randy Orton and LA Knight, and AJ Styles music hits. He comes back. He drops the phenomenal forearm on yours truly, Roman Reigns. Everybody's outside the ring, or the bloodline's outside the ring. You know, LA Knight's in the ring, Roman Reigns in the ring, AJ Styles in the ring, and then AJ Styles hits LA Knight with the clothesline. For what reason, we don't know yet. They got beef. My first assumption was that he was going to join the bloodline, but how odd would that be, right? It would make sense, I guess, in some capacity. It would be kind of cool just to watch AJ Styles with the bloodline, have this other, guy from the outside. This hat is getting on my nerves. Yeah, this has some other guy from the bloodline, have another guy that's not actually, Samoan like Sami Zayn join the bloodline and become a part of the bloodline. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that would have been cool. Would have been different. But that didn't happen. He just walked up the ramp. So we're going to find out next week why AJ Styles clothesline LA Knight. I can tell you exactly why. He clotheslined LA Knight because LA Knight is not the next contender for the belt against Roman Reigns, and they're going to milk that storyline between LA Knight and AJ Styles for a good feud, to give us some good wrestling. But yeah, that's what we got. SmackDown. So there was a great promo that Roman Reigns and your boy Roman Reigns and what is his name? Randy Orton cut against each other. It was pretty good. And Randy Orton has really shown how much he's grown in his promos and how he builds up to drop, how you say, not I guess certain puns, right? So I thought it was pretty cool how, Randy comes in the ring, he's talking to, Roman, and he says this, and I thought it was pretty cool. He says, you're like one of the longest reigning champions. And you're pretty much the giving him, pretty much praising him about his accomplishments, and says, and your accomplishments that makes you a legend. And he said, there's one thing, he said, there's some things I've grown out of and grown into and changed. He said, but there's one thing that's never changed about me, is that I am a legend killer. And then he attempts to hit Roman Reigns with the RKO, and Roman Reigns backs out of it. And then he leaves the ring and says, "Oh, don't forget, Daddy's home. Daddy's home. Daddy's home," says Randy Orton, right? So, SmackDown. Who will be the next contender for that World Heavyweight Championship? It's not going to be CM Punk. I do not want to see CM Punk. I'm just waiting to see how they put Cody in the mix. They have to finish Cody's story. They have to finish Cody's story. I'll be sorely disappointed if CM Punk fights Randy Orton. I mean, CM Punk fights Roman Reigns. I'll be sorely disappointed if, even if CM Punk fought Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Everybody's hyped about it. You know, people online, you know, they're making polls, creating polls. A lot of people are voting and agreeing and you know, in favor of seeing that match. I don't care for it. Truth be told, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care for CM Punk right now. I don't. I really don't. I don't. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel like a person who would have normally got fired under the circumstances in which he was under, didn't get fired. They seen money and an opportunity, and they hired him back. And when truth be told, in all essence, he should have been blackballed. I feel, you know, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to feel initially at first when CM Punk returned to WWE, but I didn't feel good. I was just surprised and like, wow, like this is a great moment. This is a, you know, amazing moment to see him come back. That's what I thought. That's what went through my mind. But I was still processing, right? Still like, you know, spiritually processing CM Punk's return. And he comes back, and then as he's on TV and he's and as it's settling with me, and as he's just talking to different people and he's having these conversations, it started to like really just settle on me slowly but surely how the same guy who tried to it's like, you know, Seth Rollins said it best, and I want to touch on what Seth Rollins said. And Seth Rollins said it best. You know, CM Punk did very well by upkeeping his part of the promo where he didn't allow the words of Seth Rollins to really affect him. CM Punk was really unfazed by it, even though it was true. Well, in some capacity, he was unfazed by it, but you can see it still eats at him because Seth Rollins pretty much pointed out like the same guy who tried to tear down this business or this place that I work at of my employment and that I've been here busting my hump trying to build and establish has now been given a job, you know, and this is what Seth didn't say after being fired from the place he was previously at for pretty much causing similar turmoil from this place that he's in now, which is WWE. So it was very like, you know, Seth, you said it right. As much as I like Punk, I was just kind of like, I was a little disgusted. I'm a little disgusted. I'm pretty much kind of disgusted by it. You know what I'm saying? You know, as much as Punk is not necessarily eating his words, he is eating his words. Like he is putting his foot in his mouth. It's just like when I see him there, it's just like, I'm just like, this guy, it just feels like he's a hypocrite. This is not Punk hate at all. This is just like, just pretty much telling it as it is, like for what it is. Like, this is just, you know, it is what it is. Like, it's no Punk hate. It's just this guy tried to tear down WWE, you know, in most of his interviews. He always shot on WWE, shot on Triple H, shot on Vince, shot on Steph or whomever, backstage politics, all this other stuff, right? Goes to AEW, still taking shots at WWE. And I mean, like, with all confidence, like just taking all these shots. Then he gets fired for the drama, for the causing, you know, for causing drama. Gets picked up by WWE again. because he's money. He's gonna sell, and it's gonna be good for business for AEW. But be honest with you, if I was Triple H, I would have still hired CM Punk. I would have hired him too, but I won't give him any major rewards. I'll put him in the Royal Rumble, but he ain't winning. I'll let him main event at WrestleMania, but he ain't winning. I'll let him main event matches. He ain't winning. I'll give him the main event money, but he ain't winning. And even though you may say like, yeah, but him being in the main event at WrestleMania, him being in the main event at a pay-per-view, it's like a reward. In some capacity, it's like, yeah, it is, but there'll never be any complete success of him being just no more than a high, a high class jobber. I would job CM Punk out. I wouldn't have him necessarily lose to everybody, but when it comes to major moments or pivotal moments, I wouldn't have him win. He wouldn't win anything. It'll just be more of a situation where whenever he gets very close, almost like how Shawn Michaels' run was in the late 2000s, where Shawn Michaels, he would win a lot of big matches, but when it came to the major match, like the match that made you a world champion, that made you a Royal Rumble winner, that made you the sole Survivor Series, that made you the last man standing in a elimination chamber match, he wouldn't win it. I wouldn't give it to him. I think it'll take a while for me to, if I was in Triple H shoes, was in high management shoes, it'd take a while for me to like give him that. But you'll get the same level of benefits just putting him in a match against Seth Rollins and having him lose. You'll get the same benefits of putting him in a match against Roman Reigns and having him lose. People are still going to buy into it, but one thing I definitely would say is that just as much as WWE built up CM Punk is just as much as they can break him down. A lot of times, like, we kind of forget that the reason why CM Punk is as big as he is, or why he is who he is because of WWE. All of that didn't solely go based on CM Punk's star power, right? Like, you got to be a star, but you got to be a star, but a star still needs a stage. It still needs somebody needs to build a center stage for that star to shine, right? You don't have that center stage, then it's like a tree falling in the woods and nobody's there to hear it. How do we know the tree fell? How do we know it made a sound? I mean, even though science would say it does make a sound, but according to certain theories, of whatever, but it makes the sound. But anyway, that's my point. So my thing is, I think that this may not necessarily be, this is not a high point for CM Punk. And I think a lot of people don't kind of realize that. And this is what I'm sensing. Like, this is not a high point for CM Punk. As much as people would like to celebrate the fact that he came back to WWE, this is actually a low point. I tell you why. Because for a person who had an intent to try to destroy or go against something he didn't believe in, right? Wholeheartedly, had the opportunity in some ways to negotiate his way back into the same place he tried to destroy and make amends, didn't, but decided to go to the competition, failed over there, and the same place he tried to destroy, he goes back to. It's a low point. It's almost like, you got to tuck your tail between your legs and kind of just, take your loss, right? He's going to make a lot of money. They're going to sell a lot of tickets. People are going to come. But just as much as CM Punk was built up in WWE will be just as much as he might be broken down. You may see his star decline. Like, he's going to cut his promos. We're going to see him. But pivotal moments are not going to be for him. That's what I think. I wouldn't do it. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. I would put him in the main event. I'll give him his main event, but he ain't winning. He ain't go. I wouldn't put him over. I wouldn't put him over Rollins. I wouldn't have him win. If they did do it, I'd be like, God help us. I wouldn't care. I don't know. It's just kind of. I'm just a little. Way moving forward. Moving forward. So Jay McMahon dropped something in the inbox. Liv Morgan was arrested for possession of smoking that some marijuana. She got arrested for smoke. She got arrested for having possession of marijuana, being in possession of marijuana. So now, I don't think she's going to be in major trouble for it. Truth be told, I don't think it's going to be any major penalties concerning her, being in possession of marijuana. I think it's just going to be kind of a situation, whereas, it's just like, because you have medicinal marijuana. They sell it at every smoke shop, where you can buy gummies, different forms. Not sure where she's been. Not sure, how bad a punishment's going to be, but yeah. So there was an article I read not too long ago, and article I read, it was about how CM Punk's appearance in WWE is hurting AEW, and it is in some capacity. Having a major superstar leave as he is leaving, it's kind of crazy. But yeah. I want to know who well, let me not say I want to know who, but I believe I know who is going to be what is his name? Roman Reigns is next opponent for the world title. It's going to be Randy. And I think we're going to get a great work out of them for the most part. I think we're going to get great work out of them. But that's going to be exciting to see Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns as they battle it up for the title. So the United States Championship tournament. I was just trying to I'm looking up some articles, some things I wanted to discuss anyway, because I forgot exactly what I wanted to touch on. Yeah, there's like some other things I want to touch on. Yeah, so the United States Championship. I think that I don't know who you guys are going for, or if any of you guys have any dogs in the fight as far as who you guys want to go for, as to who you want to go over and fight. What is his name? What is the guy named? Logan Paul for the United States title. But I think when Carmelo Hayes entered the tournament, I immediately said they're gonna have Carmelo Hayes win. If it's not Carmelo, then it's gonna be Kevin Owens. I think it's gonna be Kevin. I hate to see Bobby Lashley in this tournament because Bobby Lashley should be challenging Roman Reigns for his title, which kind of sucks. But they need to start putting Bobby back in the heavyweight picture. Even if Bobby doesn't, beat Roman, it's just to see him in the title picture would be great. In other news, I'm sorry. Let me continue. Yeah, so I want to see Carmelo Hayes win. I'm gonna be honest. I want to see Carmelo Hayes win the United States title. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be fresh. I'm gonna say this first. I think I said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. Carmelo Hayes is the next Shawn Michaels. He's Shawn Michaels' protege. He's Shawn Michaels' project. A lot of you guys don't remember. Some of you guys may remember. If you guys do remember, Spanky from back in the day. He used to come out the music. I'm the man with a plan. He's come out the leather jacket. Ezekiel Jackson, I think, was his bodyguard at one point. That's how Ezekiel Jackson got introduced, and he was actually trained by Shawn. Shawn was his trainer, and when you seen or when you watched how Spanky used to come out, Brian Kendricks. This is before he I think this is before no, this is before he teamed up with what is a guy named Paul London. He came out as a solo performer and he came out as Spanky, then he's teamed up with London with Paul London. And then when Paul London got released, he went back to his Spanky gimmick, not Spanky gimmick, but he went back to his Brian Kendrickson gimmick, or went to his Brian Kendrickson gimmick. And they were kind of repackaging him and using him in the ring as a performer, a solo performer. And he had a great image. They were trying to push him and do something with him, but it didn't kind of stick, I guess. And he got released. But he was Shawn's like protege. Like they would, and I think Shawn was really like kind of advocating for him backstage, which is the reason why he kind of got some of the spots that he got. And Vince seen Logan Paul as Brian Kendrickson, Spanky as like um one of those performers that he didn't see as, I guess, main event material. But that's how I see Carmelo Hayes as another, not Spanky, but one of Shawn's proteges. That Shawn is going to really advocate for and push. I like Mello. I like Mello. I want to see more of what he can do. Yeah. The other thing is I want to touch on really quickly is is uh um is this Kenny Omega news. Um uh Anthony is going to be Anthony and Shawn are going to be very disappointed by this. So this article, that they are posting in the group, Jay posting in the group, and I'm reading online. Former AEW World Champion Kenny Omega out indefinitely with difficulties. So and let me know that they told me a while ago that he battled with vitiligo or vertigo, something like that, vertigo. Not vitiligo. I'm sorry, that's with skin. Vertigo. Sean Ross Sapp on Frightful Fest. Sean Ross Sapp of Frightful reported via that Omega had been sick for the last week, even before his AEW Collision match with Ethan Page, and was hospitalized and diagnosed with difficulties following his promo segment on AEW Dynamite. This is what Omega said. He said, I can't really sugarcoat this, Omega wrote. I'm out indefinitely. I tried to keep pushing past the pain for as long as I could until it became too much. Luckily, doctors caught me when they did. I'll be here. So in the meantime, please enjoy wrestling. I can't really sugarcoat this. I'm out. Yeah. So just repeat. Yeah. So he's out indefinitely. Um, So he's out. So Kenny Omega is gone. Um, this is interesting. One of their biggest stars is going to be gone for a while. We don't know when he's coming back. They said indefinitely. So that means you're not going to see Kenny Omega until maybe the summer of next year. Who knows? may see him sooner. But whatever it is, he's not talking about it. He's not being specific about it, but he's been in a lot of pain. So I mean, AEW is getting hit really hard. The Omega's going to be out for a while. Are the Bucks still? I don't know if the Bucks are still wrestling. They might still be wrestling because I heard they were supposed to be retiring or they retired. They lost Punk. All you have is Paige, MJF, Alan Darby. You got Jungle Boy. But I want to know who this devil guy is. People saying I want it to be Dolph, but I'm looking at his back, like his frame. I'm like, that's not Dolph. But I want the devil to be Dolph. And that would be cool if it was Dolph. But I don't know who it's supposed to be. But I think it's gonna be kind of cool to find out who it is, who the devil is. But all I know is whoever the devil is, whoever the devil is, it better be a good surprise. That's all I know. Sonya Deville was arrested. Anyway. Okay. So CM Punk flexes his muscles against WWE NXT superstar. So yeah. Who else is there? Well, okay. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah. So I'm just really waiting for the pay-per-view to see exactly how they push this story forward, to find out exactly, how they push this story forward, who's going to be the person that wins the Royal Rumble. A lot of fans want CM Punk to win it, to go against Seth Rollins. I really want Cody to have a second victory. The fans, I mean, I don't think the fans would be bothered by it. I just think it will just guarantee I think it'll be a guaranteed and sure bet that Cody Rhodes is going to fight Roman again to finish the story, finish that story and kind of end it off. The rumor is that Roman's supposed to be taking some time off after he loses the belt at WrestleMania, which I'm cool with, which I will be happy with if the belt off for Roman. That'll be pretty cool to watch that transition. I ain't gonna lie, I'd be fine if Randy took the belt off of him. And that's some of my bias. Randy's one of my favorite wrestlers. Probably one of my top 10, maybe top 5, but top 10, definitely top 10. So yeah, so I mean, I just want to see who's going to be the guy. I think it'll be really dope if Gunther won the Royal Rumble. It'll be a surprise. But I definitely wouldn't want CM Punk to win it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want that guy to win anything other than a regular match. I don't think he should win anything other than a regular match. I think if he wins anything, anything big, to me, it's going to take a lot out of it, a lot out of the show for me personally. I think, So on Twitter, I was looking on Twitter a while back. Jade Cargill lost her grandmother. No, I'm sorry, lost her mother. Just recently. My condolences to Jade Cargill. Um, I wonder what they're doing with. Yeah, let me. This is what I wanted to talk about. Well, one thing, I wonder what they're doing with Austin Theory's character. They need to start pushing him a little bit more. Um, the build on a person's character doesn't work unless you actually put a build on them. Like, you push them, like you kind of put a build on them, right? I would even go as far as to say is what they could have did with Austin Theory if they felt like they didn't want to push him too early or rebuild him. They could have sent him back down to NXT to win the world championship. He could have been a person that took the belt off of Braun Breaker, like, you know what I'm saying, or been a person that, or be the person that takes the belt off of a Dragunov. But I think they may give that to Corbin, which would be kind of cool. The other thing I wanted to talk about is main event Jey Uso losing to Drew McIntyre like 4 times in a row. This is getting boring and it's getting annoying. This is getting kind of boring. I don't care. I don't really care about Drew McIntyre's build, other than the fact that he's turning back to the Scottish psychopath, which I think would work for him. And I think it's pretty cool. But as far as just him just winning every match, and he's not winning. Yeah, he's winning. Like, Drew McIntyre has not lost a match yet. He's been on a win streak, right? And they're really like trying to like push him, but Drew McIntyre is like Sheamus, like it's like you're gonna have like these fans that's gonna cheer for him and that really like him. But as far as big as he wants to be and as big as he thinks he should be, he's not, right? And it's like with Drew is just kind of like, all right, enough is enough. I think him and Jay running this feud, or what they're doing as far as this feud is concerned and how they're kind of building with them, I think they really should give Jay a victory, or give Jay some victories, kind of build on, McIntyre's frustration. McIntyre beat somebody else, but then he has a big match with Jay and Jay beats him. Jay is hot right now. Jay is hotter than McIntyre. Jay is pretty hot right now. Jay is really, really hot. And they really need to kind of build on him. But that's pretty much all I wanted to really talk about today. Kind of just touch on a few topics. So I'm gonna end it off right here. So, I thank you guys for joining me for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. If you guys are catching this repeat and this rerun, drop a comment in the comment section below. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and join us every time we go live every Tuesday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, to talk weekly wrestling. Join us for another weekly discussion as we talk Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. If you hit the remind me or notify me every time we go live, when we go live, you'll be notified when we're live, once the live is posted. And then also when you subscribe to the channel, you'll get to drop down. If you follow us on Facebook and go to the Facebook page and you join the group, every time we go live, you'll get that notification and be able to join us as we go live. All right. I'm your host, Haheem the Dream, signing off, and I will see you guys later. Peace.